Let's talk McNees. This is a McNees Mac 3.5 MagnaCut hollow ground, bunch of extras. So a couple months ago, and I think I covered it in another video, I ended up getting surgery on my neck, and while I was kind of holed up in bed, I was like, man, I would love to have another McNees. I will say right off the jump that the market is flooded with these, so I think the MSRP for something like this is about $550, but you still see people selling them for $575, $600, etc. If you are looking at getting a McNees, and I know there are people that are interested in it. I just had a guy hit me up the other day that kind of wanted a little coaching on buying a McNees. Make sure that it is a newer one. So hollow ground, MagnaCut. They used to make like an XHP one, I think. But anyways, get one in MagnaCut. Make sure it's the 3.5. Don't get a 3-inch. It's going to be too small. Stay away from the autos. It's more moving parts. But as far as upgrades go, and I thought that this was kind of interesting because I went all out. As soon as I got this knife, I ended up buying the geared backspacer for it, which probably cosmetic. As you can see, like, when I turn it on its side, it doesn't give you a lot more purchase on the back of the knife. We'll call it cosmetic, but it replaces the bolsters that are here, which are just kind of plain. I did find, though, having a little extra weight back here helped balance this a lot better, so take it for what it is. This is direct from McNees, the geared backspacer. The other thing that I did was I did end up buying the Lynch clip for this, and I'll post a picture. I just found that it was way too obtrusive, like realizing that it does make it a deep carry. This is already a fairly deep carry. I mean, it's not as deep carry as a Lynch where they kind of, the screws show up through this hole. So, this is the tip as opposed to this, but it really is pretty negligible when it comes to carrying a knife. I mean, people are going to know that this is a knife in your pocket. People are going to know that this is a knife in your pocket, but I did think, and even the hand feel, because I did install the Lynch clip on my McNees, and the palm swell that it created back here wasn't worth it. I went right back to the OEM clip. So there's that. I don't know, take it or leave it. The other upgrade that I did was going to be the thumb studs, which McNees they're threaded, so they're not that hard to take off. I used 2 pairs of vice grips, one on each side. Just turned them the opposite way, took them off. It is rock set, so I ended up just using thread locker, like just blue thread locker, so not as good as rock set, but it made this knife way more enjoyable, and kind of one of the things that I want to talk about with the thumb studs, or the revelation that I had, was I think that I prefer now knives that are running on washers, which is a little bit different from what I've thought in the past. But the thing that kind of stuck out to me was there's no way, due to the detent, which McNees certainly have a strong detent, so you kind of build up that potential energy, it releases, and then the blade flies out. I don't always like to actuate my knife. Actually, I very rarely like to actuate my knife like that, and I'll use the Emerson A100 as an example. I can still flick this with my finger, and it's plenty fast, but how I normally deploy a knife is going to be slow rolling it. I just open it like that. I don't need it to be like bam, like bam, like I'm just like flying out. Like I feel like in a normal day, I don't need that, but you don't have that option with a McNees. Like if I slow rolled this with my thumb, it wants to, build up potential energy and then rip open. Pretty good chance I'm going to cut my thumb with that. There's just no way to slow roll it. And I mean, that's why I think people love CRKs, especially one with dual thumb studs, because I can open it like that pretty quickly, or on a regular day, just slow rolling it with my thumb. So I found out from the McNees when I kind of sat down with this thing that I really do value having that option. And most knives that run bearings, you don't have the option to slow roll them. So I think that that's definitely worth mentioning. The other observation that I had, or kind of the update to McNees, and again, this is going to be my 3rd video on McNees. I do like them. I'm planning on keeping this one, but the jimping. I really do wish that this had a little bit more subtle jimping. I love the sawtooth that's on a 31. I think most people, 99.9% of people, 99% of the time, don't have gloves on or anything when they're using these knives. And what I found, I mean, even Emerson's jimping is definitely it's good. You get good purchase, whatever. McNees just has these like 5 pieces like sawtooth jimping, and it is not comfortable at all. If you had gloves on all day, but guess what? No one is really wearing gloves using this. It's going to be an everyday carry. It's a great blade for that. I wish that they did more fine jimping on this because it is not comfortable if you really bear down on it and you don't have gloves on. It just like eats your thumb apart, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't make it more subtle. But looking at all the other knives in my collection, the jimping is usually made for people that, just have bare hands. And I think that I would like to see if it was jimping, even like this backspacer, like that's much more palatable. Up here, it's kind of very jagged sawtooth, and, making it, maybe it would just be a small improvement on an already great knife, but I know that they're always improving these things, and that's one of the things that I would like to see. Bigger thumb studs, finer jimping. So that's the McNees 3.5 update. Again, 4th time's the charm. This is the 4th one that I've owned. I carry it quite often, but yeah, if you're interested or have any questions, drop them below. Thanks.